Hua Fei turned to Yunqi and said, "Senior sister, this way?" Outsiders might not know, but Hua Fei was well aware of the situation. Both he and Yunqi were disciples of the current president and vice president of the Alchemist Association. His own master, Vice President Tan Chun, was amicable and managed the day-to-day affairs of the association. However, the president had been rigorously grooming Yunqi as the successor and thus refrained from getting involved in the association's matters, showing a clear bias toward her. Only 10 people here? Yunqi's gaze narrowed as she looked at the 2 lottery boxes. Among the dozens present, everyone noticed that there were only 10 figures on the right side, the area accessible only to those with souls that had reached the immortal realm. The soul power of the 10 on the right has reached the immortal realm. They will directly compete for the top 5 spots. As for the remaining 76 of you, whose soul power hasn't reached the immortal realm, you'll compete for ranks 5 through 10. Any objections? Leahy addressed the 2 groups. No objections. Upon hearing this, the figures nodded, casting envious glances at the 10 individuals. After all, reaching the immortal realm at such a young age promised boundless future potential. Isn't that Yunqi, the famous prodigy of the Alchemist Association? Meeting her today, her profound soul power indeed makes her the strongest of our generation. Before long, a seemingly harmless man among the 10 glanced at Yunqi through her thin veil, his eyes flickering with an almost imperceptible undercurrent of malice. Someone from the Shu clan? You'd better mind your tongue, or your words might bring disaster. Hua Fei casually glanced at the man, whose soul power was merely at the half-step immortal realm, hardly a match for them. So, you're the one who defeated Mu Gu in the first stage? I fail to see much strength in you. The man from the Shu clan sneered. But let me remind you, soul battles are not like dochi skirmishes for children. If you can't win, just surrender early, or you'll embarrass yourself as the first stage champion. Ignoring the Shu clanman's provocation, Xiao Yan turned to Lei He. Senior, is it acceptable to engage here? As long as you have the strength, the rules can bend in your favor. But remember, this is a soul competition. Other powers are irrelevant, Lei He replied, curious to see the soul mastery of this first-stage champion who had defeated a prodigy like Mu Gu. After all, even the Valley Master had personally instructed him to keep an eye on Xiao Yan. In that case, Xiao Yan's eyes sharpened. Netherworld heavenly wrath. In an instant, a dazzling wave of soul power surged from Xiao Yan's body, rushing straight toward the Shu clan man. The strength of the attack far exceeded that of ordinary immortal realm soul users. As expected, someone who has stepped into the great void realm, Yunqi murmured, her veiled face betraying a slight tremor. Xiao Yan's formidable soul attack sent a chill through her. Spirit Palace? The Shu clanman's expression darkened as waves of soul power poured out to shield himself. Yet the gap between Xiao Yan's great void realm soul power and the Shu clanman's half-step immortal realm was insurmountable. Crash! The soul attack formed by the netherworld heavenly wrath effortlessly pierced the Shu clanman's defense, striking him squarely on the head. Arg! A shriek echoed through the vast arena. He deserved it, acting so arrogantly with just half-step immortal realm soul power, someone muttered, as the crowd exchanged glances. Xiao Yan's ability to defeat Mu Gu clearly wasn't by chance. That's much quieter now. Anyone else dissatisfied? Step forward, Xiao Yan said with a casual shrug, his tone brimming with pride. This guy is arrogant, but his strength and soul power are beyond comparison. Best to let it go, someone muttered as the competitors prepared for the next rounds. The top 5 competition comes first, followed by the competition for ranks 5 through 10, Leahy announced, his voice resonating across the arena. If the 2 of you are ready, please step into the arena. As Xiao Yan and Long Han Yan simultaneously took a step forward, Leahy spoke once more. With a resounding crash, the 2 clasped their fists in salute and leapt into the interior of the arena. This was the true battlefield for the clash of soul power. Long Han Yan of the Long clan in Thunder City, ready to learn from you. Standing mid-air, Xiao Yan faced a woman in a gray ruchuan. Her figure was well-proportioned, but the overwhelming battle intent in her eyes was as chilling and venomous as a snake. Xiao Yan, at your service. Xiao Yan smirked coldly and replied, Soul of the Spirit Python. Without hesitation, Long Hanyin mobilized the power from her soul sea, forming an immense, illusory python several hundred meters long before her. The python exuded a razor-sharp aura, its gaze locked tightly onto Xiao Yan. One could hardly doubt that being struck by such a forceful attack would result in immediate severe injury. Soul power, simply put, is similar to Do Qi. Moreover, since your soul sea has already condensed a spirit palace, you only need to channel your soul power to manifest it into tangible forms, allowing for combat. This is the most basic step in materializing soul power, came the calm voice of the Devourer of Souls as Xiao Yan struggled to react. Xiao Yan's soul power was naturally immense, arguably one of the strongest in the arena. In terms of sheer volume, he could easily rank among the top 3. However, great strength did not equate to mastery. His familiarity with soul power was limited to probing, memory extraction, and soul-based attacks. Techniques like materializing soul power into physical forms were almost entirely foreign to him. No choice. Soul Fire Tiger. Following Long Hanyan's example, Xiao Yan managed to summon a blazing red tiger formed entirely of soul power. The appearance of this Soul Fire Tiger immediately filled the spectators with shock and disbelief. This guy is not only a master of Do Qi, but also terrifyingly adept at controlling and utilizing soul power. I can't compare to him, Hua Fei murmured while shaking his head. Even he was far from reaching Xiao Yan's level of mastery in soul materialization. His soul power is already formidable. If you face him, it'll be a tough fight, Yunqi remarked, her brows furrowing under her veil. As the two conversed, the battle in the arena grew increasingly intense. Two invisible waves of soul power collided violently, generating a sudden gale that swept through the arena, filling it with a palpable sense of danger. This guy's soul power is as deep as the ocean. I must end this quickly, Long Hanyan thought. Her gaze locked onto Xiao Yan as she maneuvered her spirit python. The spirit python, composed of pure soul energy, had an ethereal, transparent form that enveloped Long Hanyan's figure entirely. However, Xiao Yan's Soul Fire Tiger, enhanced by a combination of soul power and Do Qi flames, was not to be underestimated. Its ferocity far surpassed most conventional methods. Let's settle this with one move. Xiao Yan observed Long Hanyan, who was barely holding her ground against his soul pressure, and spoke calmly. The gap in their soul power was too great. Moreover, Xiao Yan bore no deep enmity toward her, so there was no need to be ruthless. Fine, Long Hanyan replied coldly, unleashing an even greater surge of soul power that caused her spirit python to solidify further. Wind Python Soul. With a low, commanding shout, a green whirlwind engulfed the python's body entirely. This woman does have some skill, but her soul power is still too weak compared to mine. Xiao Yan couldn't help but feel a twinge of respect as he observed her technique, which combined Do Qi and soul power into the wind python soul. Nonetheless, it posed little threat to him. Tiger's Wrath. Acting on instinct, Xiao Yan roared as the fiery soul fire tiger in front of him let out a deafening howl. Waves of fiery red, invisible energy rippled outward, spreading across the entire arena under Xiao Yan's precise control. This guy's soul techniques are impressive as well, the spectators thought. By now, everyone realized that Xiao Yan's victory in the first stage was no fluke. Long Hanyan is going to lose, Yunqi muttered, shaking her head. That was too quick, Hua Fei commented, unable to hide his surprise. A resounding boom echoed through the arena. The clash of soul power was no less intense than a Do Qi battle. Crash. Each time Xiao Yan unleashed his Soul Fire Tiger, it emitted an immensely powerful soul shockwave, surging directly toward Long Hanyan's Wind Python Soul. By contrast, Long Hanyan's Wind Python Soul seemed visibly weaker, faltering under the pressure. The outcome of the battle was becoming increasingly clear. I've lost. After a brief exchange, Long Hanyan shook her head and admitted defeat, her gaze fixed on Xiao Yan's increasingly formidable Soul Fire Tiger. She knew that if Xiao Yan hadn't held back, she might already have fallen unconscious. Thank you for letting me win. Xiao Yan waved his hand, and the Soulfire Tiger dissipated immediately. Although he had won effortlessly, the victory was due to his superior soul power. If their soul strengths had been equal, the battle would have been far more challenging. This round's winner is Xiao Yan. He advances to the top 5. Lei He entered the arena and announced the results to the crowd, his voice echoing through the space. Tisk. It seems this Xiao Yan is the true dark horse of the Eastern Continent competition. No kidding. With his current soul power, making it to the top 5 in the second phase should be a breeze. Many spectators couldn't help but comment aloud. Next up, Hua Fei versus Bailan. If the two of you are ready, step into the arena. Lei He spoke again, directing his gaze toward the competitors. Only 10 participants in the second phase of the soul competition had soul power reaching the immortal realm. Those who defeated their opponents would advance directly to the top 5. While some competitors were disgruntled by Lei He's arrangements, the fact that these individuals had immortal-level soul power silenced most complaints. The discontent remained, but only in the form of quiet grumbling. Senior sister, I'm heading out? Hua Fei smiled at Yunqi before leaping into the arena. Bailan, please guide me. Walking up to Hua Fei was a dignified young man exuding an air of nobility, clearly from a prestigious family. His soul power had genuinely stepped into the immortal realm, just a step away from the early Great Void stage. The two were evenly matched in terms of soul strength. Hua Fei has fully inherited Vice President Tan Chen's teachings. Reaching the top 3 shouldn't be an issue. Yunqi remarked softly, her gaze falling on Bailan. After all, Tan Chen was one of the top powerhouses in Thunder City. Naturally, his disciples wouldn't be subpar. Boom. As soon as the two entered the arena, they sat cross-legged mid-air and simultaneously closed their eyes. Immediately, radiant soul energy began to gather above their heads, heralding an intense soul confrontation. Soul imprint. Hua Fei was the first to strike. Invisible soul energy surged around him, and as his hands formed rapid seals, the soul energy within the arena fluctuated along a unique trajectory, rushing toward Bailan with an air of inevitability. The mystique of his attack made it almost impossible to guard against. So this is the Alchemist Association's exclusive soul refinement art. Truly formidable. Bailan's brows furrowed as he spoke, his tone wary of the threatening soul energy enveloping the arena. Soul technique, Netherlock. With a roar, Bailan didn't hold back. His shout reverberated throughout the arena, drawing astonished gasps from the audience. No one had expected Bailan to unleash a soul technique. Soul techniques, in essence, are powerful methods of condensing or dispersing soul power through specific energy paths and applications, creating devastating attacks. To think Bailan would use a soul technique, it seems Hua Fei is in for some trouble. Many strong figures present exchanged glances, fully aware of the power inherent in soul techniques. As Bailan executed his soul technique, Xiao Yan's expression grew increasingly intrigued. To his surprise, Bailan's soul technique bore an uncanny resemblance to his own soul attacks. Soul technique? Why does this feel so familiar? Xiao Yan mused as he watched the battle unfold. Master, what exactly is a soul technique? From the way this guy is using it, it seems identical to my soul attack methods. Unable to resist his curiosity, Xiao Yan sought clarification as the fight intensified. A soul technique is a means of channeling one's soul power through specific energy routes and unique methods to compress or amplify it, ultimately creating an offensive force. Generally, soul techniques fall into 3 categories: offensive, defensive, and interference. Offensive soul techniques, like your Netherworld Heavenly Wrath or Eerie Sound of Oblivion, use soul power to attack an opponent's soul, dealing severe damage. However, most offensive soul techniques are far weaker than yours, which can outright kill in a single strike. Defensive soul techniques focus primarily on the protection of soul power. Once a defensive soul technique is deployed, offensive soul techniques become ineffective. However, nothing is absolute. If an offensive soul technique is overwhelmingly powerful, even a defensive one won't be able to withstand it, the Devourer of Souls explained. What about interference soul techniques? Xiao Yan nodded slightly and asked. Interference soul techniques, as the name implies, are designed to disrupt the opponent. They might seem negligible, but they can also be described as game-changing soul techniques. Once an interference soul technique is activated, the enemy will be unable to execute any duel skill for a short period. Its drawback, however, is obvious. It takes time to cast and lacks any offensive capabilities, the Devourer of Souls remarked casually. Unable to execute any duel skill? Xiao Yan was startled, realizing the implications. The more powerful the duel skill, the longer it takes to gather and condense the necessary energy. For instance, Xiao Yan's Sacred Flame Fusion, a combination of his 3 sacred flames, was potent enough to allow him to fight opponents beyond his level. Yet, it required significant time to compress and condense. If an interference soul technique were deployed against him, his Sacred Flame Fusion would become utterly useless. In the realm of soul techniques, offensive and defensive types are quite common. However, interference techniques are exceptionally rare, their value second only to Sacred Flames, the Devourer of Souls added. What an intense battle, Xiao Yan murmured as the clash of souls in the arena became increasingly fierce. White Land's soul technique manifested as an enormous chain, hundreds of feet long, visible even to the naked eye. The chain, pure milky white, emitted a dizzying pressure on all who beheld it, its energy brimming with a dominating force over soul power. Bind! White Lawn shouted coldly. The chain turned into a gale of cold light and shot toward Hua Fei. Clang! The milky white chain surged forward, radiating ripples of powerful soul energy that left onlookers speechless. Ah, so it's an offensive soul technique, someone murmured. Solid stone bell. Hua Fei smirked as the incoming chain approached. Without hesitation, his soul power erupted, forming a radiant shield of milky white soul energy that completely enveloped him, making him as impenetrable as solid rock. Damn it! A defensive soul technique? White Lawn growled as his soul chain attack dissipated upon contact with Hua Fei's shield. The shield remained unscathed, while the chain's energy rapidly drained away. As you can see, in soul techniques of the same level, offensive ones are no match for defensive ones, the Devourer of Souls commented. What a formidable defensive soul technique, Xiao Yan muttered, marveling at Hua Fei's impenetrable shield. He realized that his own dual-layered soul attacks might also be easily nullified by such a defense. Don't be discouraged. Keep in mind that soul techniques are exclusive to alchemists and a select few who cultivate soul power. Most people don't even comprehend the intricacies of soul energy. Your powerful soul strength is one of your greatest trump cards, the Devourer of Souls reassured Xiao Yan. Understood, Xiao Yan replied with a nod as he continued observing the duel. It seems the outcome is clear, Xiao Yan said as he watched the scene unfold. The battle in the arena had reached a fever pitch. Despite White Land's relentless attacks, Hua Fei remained on the defensive. However, the prolonged use of soul attacks was visibly draining White Land's soul power. Unlike other energies, soul power couldn't be replenished instantly with pills due to its unique nature. Recovery could only occur over time. As a result, the victor of the battle was evident. Brother White Lawn, Hua Fei said with a faint smile. You've been attacking for quite a while. Isn't it my turn now? Noticing White Land's weakening soul energy, Hua Fei's eyes gleamed. A surge of powerful soul energy erupted from him, as radiant as a dragon awakening from slumber. Soul technique, Nether Serpent, Hua Fei roared. The overwhelming soul power coalesced into a massive energy serpent, hundreds of feet long. As the energy serpent emerged, it unleashed waves of energy that shook the arena. The serpent, radiating an imposing soul force, locked onto White Lawn and lunged toward him with ferocious intent. The disciple of the Alchemist Association's vice president certainly lives up to his reputation, someone remarked. I lost. Lawn slightly parted his lips and shook his head as he spoke. At this stage of the competition, there was really no need to continue. Thank you for letting me win. Hua Fei looked at Lawn, who had voluntarily conceded, and refrained from delivering a fatal blow. With a wave of his hand, The massive serpent of energy vanished into thin air. Although the soul serpent hadn't actually clashed with Bai Lan, it was clear to everyone that Hua Fei had not yet unleashed his full power. Hua Fei versus Bai Lan. Hua Fei wins and advances to the top 5. Next up is Yunqi versus Xuan'er. Lei He stepped out of the arena, guiding Bai Lan and Hua Fei away. After confirming they were unharmed, he addressed the remaining Immortal Realm Soul experts. Next, Yunqi versus Xuan'er. Lei He's voice echoed throughout the arena. Senior sister, Hua Fei called respectfully to Yunqi as he exited the arena. You revealed too many cards in that fight, Yunqi said, her red lips moving under her veil as she shook her head. Hua Fei gave a helpless smile. The match could have ended swiftly with a thunderous move, but his carelessness and underestimation of Bai Lan, who had unexpectedly used a soul technique, had forced him to expose more of his abilities than he intended. Buzz. As Lei He's voice faded, 2 graceful figures emerged from the crowd. Yunqi. Duan Qifei, who had been quietly observing, furrowed her brows at the sight of Yunqi. Yunqi's accomplishments in alchemy and soul strength made her arguably the #1 prodigy among the younger generation in the Eastern continent. As soon as she appeared, a faint, elegant fragrance accompanied by a suppressive soul power enveloped the arena. What a beautiful woman! But her strength is terrifying as well. Many spectators couldn't help but let their minds wander to the beauty beneath the veil. Yet none dared disrupt the palpable tension. On the other side stood Xuan'er, a woman dressed in a form-fitting qipao that accentuated her alluring figure. Every movement she made exuded a captivating charm, but it was her undeniable strength that truly stirred the audience. Please enlighten me, Xuan'er said, her enchanting eyes fixed on Yunqi. Ever since she learned she would face Yunqi, her expression had been solemn. Xuan'er was the young master of a notable faction in Thunder City. Though she wasn't an alchemist, her main focus was soul cultivation, and she had successfully reached the immortal realm. Even so, there was still a significant gap between her and Yunqi, the top prodigy. Please, came a cold, emotionless voice from beneath Yunqi's veil, as though she didn't consider Xuan'er a worthy opponent. The 2 women simultaneously stepped into the arena. The arena was vast and empty. The 2 figures ascended into the air, standing at opposite ends. You're no match for me. Concede while you can. If soul power clashes, any damage you suffer. Yunqi let her words trail off, a faint trace of a smile on her red lips. She was giving Xuan'er face. If it were anyone else, they would have already been defeated by her overwhelming soul power. How would I know without trying? Xuan'er wasn't angered by Yunqi's disdain. Instead, her body, wrapped tightly in the qipao, began to emanate waves of soul power, faintly visible as they spread outward. Soul! With a low shout, Xuan'er made her move. Brilliant soul power surged from her soul sea, erupting like a volcano. What dazzling soul power! Xuan'er has likely reached the early stage of the Great Void level in the Immortal Realm. Early Great Void level? That's strong. The audience, especially those whose soul power had yet to reach the Immortal Realm, exchanged astonished looks. Impressive soul power. Early Great Void level. Enough for me to at least put in some effort. Sensing that Xuan'er wasn't as weak as expected, Yunqi's previously indifferent expression shifted to one of subtle amusement. At the same time, her pupils began to emit an unsettling aura. This woman, Xuan'er's enchanting eyes narrowed as she realized something was amiss. Her dazzling soul power enveloped her in a protective shield. Yunqi, hailed as the Eastern continent's strongest soul expert, was undoubtedly living up to her reputation. Buzz. Without any excessive movement, Yunqi's eyes flickered rapidly beneath her veil. There seems to be something in this guy's eyes? Seeing that Yunqi hadn't mobilized her soul power, the next moment, the 2 women locked eyes. Then, Xuan'er seemed to fall under a spell. Her expression became vacant, her beautiful eyes glazed over with a pale sheen, and she stood frozen mid-air. Even the soul energy protecting her body quickly dissipated at the same time. What's going on? Many onlookers were baffled by this bizarre scene. their gazes fixed on the two figures standing motionless in the arena, their pupils empty and unfocused. Sigh. Senior sister always seems to lack restraint. Watching this, Hua Fei couldn't help but shake his head. Clearly, the outcome of the fight had been decided the moment Yunqi made her move. This match goes to Yunqi. Leihi's figure appeared in the arena shortly after, announcing the result to the crowd. That's it. Xun'er hasn't even conceded. Clearly, this is just the use of power and influence. Someone in the audience protested indignantly. Gulp. Just as the voice fell, Xun'er's pupils suddenly contracted. Her aura plummeted, and her delicate body collapsed uncontrollably toward the arena floor. You! Such recklessness. Leihi, having just declared the result, couldn't help but scold Yunqi with a hint of reproach in his tone. Don't worry, senior. She's fine. Just asleep, Yunqi replied calmly. Her figure flickered, and she left the stage as if the battle had never happened. This? Too fast. Not even a minute, and it's over? What just happened? The crowd exchanged bewildered glances, unable to comprehend what had unfolded. All they had seen were two women locking eyes, and in the next instant, the match was over. That person is a formidable opponent. At this moment, Xiao Yan stood quietly, a growing sense of unease spreading within him. Yunqi's soul power filled him with an intense discomfort, an unease even greater than when he had faced Mu Gu. What just happened? Among the onlookers, Xun'er was the first to break the silence, turning to Yunqi, who seemed unbothered by the attention. Just now, Yunqi likely used a soul pathway technique to channel Xun'er's soul power into her own soul space, allowing her to defeat her opponent with ease, Lu Qing explained, her bright eyes flickering with understanding. Indeed, just as Lu Qing said, Xiao Yan nodded lightly. The soul pathway technique was a combat method exclusively for soul experts. The earlier exchange of glances was clearly a form of direct confrontation. Unfortunately for Xun'er, her soul power was insignificant compared to Yunqi's. As the competition for the top 5 progressed, Xiao Yan, Yunqi, and Hua Fei advanced one after another. 2 other contestants, possessing immortal realm soul power, also successfully entered the top 5, marking the beginning of the semi-finals. Due to the low number of participants in the second phase, Leihi announced that the competition would proceed without interruption until all placements were determined. While this arrangement might seem unfair to some, the majority agreed, allowing the matches to proceed smoothly. Next, the semi-finals. You 5 have made it to the second phase's top 5. Now the semi-finals will begin. If anyone wishes to withdraw, you may do so now and keep your current rank, Leihi stated plainly, clearly intending to finalize the top 5 before moving on to the remaining rankings. The crowd fell silent for a moment before the quiet was broken by a voice filled with resignation. I forfeit. Fong Tong, are you certain? Leihi asked again. I forfeit as well. Another voice joined in right after Fong Tong's declaration. Fong Tong, Wu Shi, are you both certain about your decision? Leihi's tone remained calm. He didn't seem surprised. After all, among the 10 contestants with immortal realm soul power, Yunqi was the strongest, followed by Hua Fei and Xun'er. Given that even Xun'er had been defeated so decisively, Fong Tong and Wu Shi, whose soul power was inferior to hers, naturally saw little point in continuing. Yes, we've decided, the two replied, exchanging glances and smiling. Their soul power barely reached the threshold of the immortal realm. Against Hua Fei, their chances were slim, let alone against Yunqi. In that case, are there any objections from the remaining 3 contestants? Leihi asked as he marked the 2 names in 4th and 5th place on the list. None, the 3 replied calmly. Brother Xiao Yan, if you want to challenge senior sister Yunqi, you'll have to defeat me first, Hua Fei said with a faint smile. Although he had a nagging feeling he wasn't a match for Xiao Yan, he still wanted to give it a try. Since it's just the 3 of you, as long as both sides agree, the rules can naturally be disregarded. What do you think, Xiao Yan? Leihi spoke with a hint of anticipation in his voice. Hua Fei, being the disciple of the Alchemist Association's vice president, should make for a spectacular match against Xiao Yan. Nothing could please me more, Xiao Yan replied with a slight smile, not refusing the challenge. In his view, defeating Hua Fei was merely a matter of time, as his true opponent in this soul competition had always been Yunqi. You're no match for him. Give up, Yunqi said, her veiled face trembling slightly as she lowered her voice. Heh, senior sister, I can't disgrace my master's reputation now, can I? Hua Fei whispered back. Besides, even if I can't defeat him, I still want to face him openly in battle. After all, Master always says that fighting an evenly matched opponent is exhilarating. Suit yourself, but if you lose, I'll avenge you. Go, Yunqi said softly. All settled? Then let's begin. Xiao Yan stretched lazily and cast a sidelong glance at Hua Fei in the distance. The power within Yunqi seems unusually strong, and Xiao Yan, there's something familiar about him, Dan Qifei murmured, a silver thunderbolt faintly stirring at her brow. As it stirred, fragments of hazy memories surfaced like shoots after a spring rain. So, the day has finally come. As the two stepped into the arena, Hua Fei's voice rang out, filled with arrogant pride. Xiao Yan, do you know that when you came to the Alchemist Association to certify your rank, you shattered numerous records? From that moment, I regarded you as my rival. I swear, I will defeat you honorably in my lifetime. Hua Fei declared with passionate fervor, his voice brimming with determination. In that case, let's fight. Xiao Yan shook his head slightly. Hua Fei's strength may have reached the late stage of mid-2-star Docian, and his soul power had touched the immortal realm, but he had yet to enter the Great Void realm. The outcome of this battle was already decided from the start. Let the match begin, Leahy announced, stepping back as the tension between the two reached its peak. As Leahy's voice fell, dazzling soul energy erupted from both Xiao Yan and Hua Fei, materializing into milky white globes before them. The disparity in soul power. Observing the radiant energy enveloping the two, it was clear to the audience that Xiao Yan's soul strength far exceeded Hua Fei's. Many spectators realized Hua Fei didn't stand a chance. Don't celebrate too soon, Hua Fei shouted. His brilliant soul energy formed a ferocious beast that charged at Xiao Yan with overwhelming ferocity. Netherworld heavenly wrath. Xiao Yan showed no intention of holding back. His luminous soul power erupted in a surge of dominance, directly striking the oncoming beast with pinpoint precision. Whoosh! The ferocious beast, though formidable, disintegrated instantly under Xiao Yan's attack. Damn it! Defend! Hua Fei's heart sank as he summoned a soul shield to block Xiao Yan's assault. However, the soul shield failed to hold as expected, unable to repel the sheer force of Xiao Yan's energy. This level of defense won't cut it, Xiao Yan sneered. The dazzling energy in his hands condensed into a sharp blade. Break! Xiao Yan commanded, the blade slicing through Hua Fei's shield with unstoppable force. Damn it! Hua Fei realized too late that his soul power was nowhere near Xiao Yan's level. Concede. Don't waste time. Yunqi's voice echoed telepathically into the arena, directed at Hua Fei. I admit defeat, Hua Fei finally said, shaking his head in resignation. After a brief struggle, he decisively yielded. This Hua Fei, he's quite the character. Xiao Yan was slightly surprised by Hua Fei's quick surrender. However, upon noticing Yunqi's sincere smile, he couldn't help but smile back. Though defeated, Hua Fei accepted his loss gracefully, harboring no resentment toward Xiao Yan.